you come from a world where comedy was raw. Like you could get on
Yeah.
that stage and say whatever you want to.
Mhm.
And right now, it's a lot of people. It's a battle between, especially with the Kevin Hart roast that just happened.
Right.
It's a battle between what you can say and what you can't say, and comedians should be exempt from certain things. How do you feel? Well, one, what did you think about the roast? That's a big topic of conversation right now. How do you feel about the Kevin Hart roast?
I think first of all, I mean, it's comedy. It's Kevin Hart Roast. Look who put it together.
Mm,
I mean, Netflix or people shock. We're in that world of clips,
mm-hmm,
shock humor, where being nasty and dirty and bad, and Trump has a lot to do with that.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's winning right now, being evil and saying anything to get clicks and laughs is ridiculous. But if that's the brand you are, if that's the liquor you're drinking, if that's the food you want to digest, then that's for you. To me, I mean, they invite certain type of people to those parties,
Mm-hmm.
or certain type of people that's going to let that go on. I'm from the '90s, so they wouldn't have flew on my watch
Mhm.
because they know it'd have been furniture moving.
Yeah.
Or I'd have got up there and hey, I'd have, okay, well, off strip about this, now, I'd have checked all that on the point because I've done roasts where you can speak up. I ain't have to wait to get the mic. I'm like, hold on, watch your mouth before you get smacked. But most of that stuff was written by 7 white guys. So white people, their uncreative imagination about black people is only to go back to hey, your drugs, your daddy left you, your slaves, people died. It's stuff that they made up about us. So
Mhm.
that's funny to them, not us. But it's it's like I said, it's clickbait. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To me, for the comics to sit up there and take that, and for people to, refute that, I don't know. I mean, that's them. If they got the balls to say something, most of them want to check. I'm against the system, so I'm uncancelable.
Mhm.
I don't live in the era where I think the industry can hurt me because I don't live for the industry. I live for me. So I have my own fans. So my old liquor, my old bottle of water at the end of the day is always gonna sell.
Mhm. And that's it's funny because you hear Kevin Hart on the Breakfast Club, and he said, it's live. What did you expect me to do? And knowing what I know of you, and knowing what I know of the stories of the people you brought me around, and
Right.
talking about how you moved back in the day, I couldn't see you up there just kind of standing for that. Like I couldn't see Joe Torry hearing some of those jokes
Yeah.
and not saying something
Yeah. I mean, or not furniture being moved backstage.
or backstage. Yeah.
Or right on camera. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, 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 what are we doing here? But
Mhm.
like I said, they know who to invite to those type of parties.
Yeah.
So and everybody, I mean, either got to deal with Netflix or they want to deal with Netflix or they want to deal with Netflix, the different network that's putting them out there, or they don't want to piss their agency off. I've been
Mhm.
through all that before.
Yeah.
So, I'm like I said, I'm OG. So, I know how to handle that.
So
And,
you think everybody's just holding back and
I
didn't really
mean,
want to rock the boat, afterwards. It
you
was
know what I
announced
think?
that Cheryl got her special, but I think she went up there and went crazy when it was her time. Like after all that they was saying all that stuff about her, when she got up there, I think she went and did her job.
Yeah, Cheryl spoke, like she's supposed to has spoken.
Mhm.
But like I said, it's all a part of the circus.
Mhm.
And hey, the person that does this, the person. I mean, you know what you signed up for when you do it as a comic. You know where you are in this business. If you can push certain envelopes in which you can't. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? You know why they got you there. Like people used to say, back in the day, well, why you bring Joe Torry? You know he gonna be Def Jam. Well, that's why you hired me. You know what I'm saying? So, so they know why they hire certain people to be there, to do certain things, to push the narrative, and that's why we're still talking about it
Mhm.
right now. You know what I'm saying? But I don't, to me, it's like, I'm so above low vibrational energy. No, it doesn't affect me. Whereas I'd have thought of something clever to come back at that.